I think I'm missing something, because I do not see any real appeal with being John Malkovich. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad film, but this is an Oscar-nominated film, 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and a Metascore of 90, which is phenomenally high. And I just thought it was average. I thought it was maybe 5.5 out of 10. I don't know what I'm missing. This was released in 1999, directed by Spike Jonze and written by Charlie Kaufman, and stars, of course, John Malkovich, but also John Cusack, Cameron Diaz, and a whole great supporting cast as well. And the concept is, well, I don't know. Part of me thinks it's interesting. Part of me thinks, how on earth did anybody ever come up with this as an idea? In the description from IMDb, no spoilers, is as follows. A puppeteer discovers a portal that leads literally into the head of movie star John Malkovich. Now, it's worth pointing out that when I watched this was actually the first John Malkovich film that I ever saw. So, I didn't have any emotional connection to his works, the character, anything he'd done before. And I think possibly, if I had been more familiar with him as an actor at the time of watching it, or, had it been being Johnny Depp or being Robin Williams, it would have meant a lot more to me, because I would have loved that emotional connection of being inside that person's head, even if it's in a fictitious setting. So I think for me, maybe partly, and of course that's not the film's fault, me not having any real care about John Malkovich's work at this time meant that I just didn't really understand the appeal or why this was happening. Nevertheless, it's very creative, and I will give it that credit. The fact that they managed to go inside Malkovich's head and we get these kind of weird insights and spending time inside of his head is just, it's so bizarre. And the way the portal, like where the portal is and how it works is... Actually, I kind of like that scene. I think there are some really, really great special effects in this. Absolutely fantastic special effects. The use of the elevator, I love. I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. There are a lot of small things in this that I thoroughly enjoyed. I just don't really get the appeal of the main concept of being inside John Malkovich's head. As I said, if it had been somebody else, maybe. But then I'm also quite surprised that it's got such critical acclaim and such wide appeal, because obviously, although Malkovich has a big fan base, I can't imagine that many people would like it so much that it's hailed as, this absolutely fantastic film. So I don't know what I'm missing. There must be something else in this that I'm just not grasping. And that's fine, because it's interesting enough. There are bits of it that are really interesting, about being in somebody's head. The concept of the puppeteer gives us some really nice imagery, and there's a lot that you could analyse and a lot that you could discuss. It's a great film as a discussion topic. Artistically, it's brilliant. It's very creative, exceptionally creative. This is, without question, a work of art. The narrative is just not really there, and not something that is for me. And to be fair, even if it was being Johnny Depp, the narrative would still be quite lacking, and I think that it would be visually very interesting, but emotionally, not much, not very mentally stimulating. So, I think it depends on what you're looking for. There are some surprise moments in this, where even when you think you kind of know what to expect, it does keep you on your toes. It's never boring, and that's great. So the film definitely, without question, has its benefits, has its plus points. I just don't understand why it's quite as successful as it is. But if you love it, then that's great, But it's not for me. That's not saying I'll never watch it again. I might give it another chance once I'm more familiar with Malkovich's work. Without question, I think I'd get more out of it. But for now, I just don't get the appeal.